Thank you. My name's Leonard Maltin. I'm really happy to be here. I'm happy to see such a great turnout. I'm very flattered that you've come to see me. But I know the truth. You've come to see the great Robert Duvall.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you.
Have a seat. Be comfortable.
Thank you, sir.
Let me say that again. This is Robert Duvall.
They haven't wiped the drool yet. Yeah, good to be here. Great to be here.
Now, you look terrific. I don't have to snow you. You do. You do look terrific, and you're very fit, and you say you feel good, which is great. How much of that is dancing?
Not so much.
Oh, okay.
A little bit of social dancing is good, and I try to walk every day to keep in shape. I look and find bomb-proof horses to ride, and you do a little bit every day to try to keep in shape, and it's difficult. When I weighed 200 pounds a couple of years, I should be 180, but I'm always trying to get it down a little bit, about 190 below. But stop eating it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Don't eat so much.
Don't eat so much. Okay.
Stop eating the good brisket around here.
Yeah. Good genes help too, don't they?
I think so. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How much? Your father was a military man.
Yes, sir.
And you served in the U.S. Army, I believe.
Well, as a draftee, just for 2 years.
Yeah.
Reluctantly, but I did.
Yeah. Well, 2 years is 2 years.
Yeah. It should have been 6 months. It was 2 years too long. I mean, then they reduced it to 6 months after that, and then the draft was no longer. Yeah.
What do you take away? What did you take anything worthwhile away from that experience?
Yeah. Well, to play military parts.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Exactly. Yeah. My dad actually went to the Naval Academy. They let him in when he was 16 years old, off a farm from Virginia. Yeah. He was 30 years in the military. So, but you know, by being in the military and being around it, I don't want to be a part of it as a profession. But I have a certain respect for it because you have to have the military, and you can't look down on those guys. So in playing them, you know, you observe them and take what you need to play them, which is an important thing when you do play them to try to get it accurate.
Sure. Well, you convinced me. You convinced them.
Right. Yeah. Especially when I played in Apocalypse Now. The special service officers stood a certain way. They had a certain way of addressing people, and so that stayed with me after I got out of the Army. You know.
People now talk, and even this festival is acknowledging this sort of new golden age of television. A lot of really good writing, a lot of great actors working in short form and long form TV, miniseries exploring adult themes, adult subjects that movies are a little reluctant to do. We're sitting here with somebody who was in the greatest miniseries of all time, Lonesome Dove, and
probably maybe my favorite part.
Yeah.
I walked into the dressing room or the kitchen one day of Lonesome Dove. I said, "Boys, we're making the Godfather of Westerns."
Well, that nails it, really.
Yeah, right.
It is.
Yeah, well, I was fortunate enough to be in the two great film things, Godfather 1 and 2, and that, you know, in the last part of the 20th century.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But what I'm wondering is, did you see anything of your character, Gus McCrae, in this new character you play in A Night in Old Mexico?
I think Whitliff would agree. I think he's a descendant of those two guys. I've always liked. He started writing the project 35 years ago before Lonesome Dove.
This is William Whitliff who wrote the screenplay, the teleplay for Lonesome Dove.
Of A Night in Old Mexico. And when we finished Lonesome Dove, I was walking along the river here in Austin. I don't know what I was doing here, but I was here. And I said, "Hey, Gus, come up, Whitliff." He said, "We've done it now. Let's do A Night in Old Mexico." I said, "It's too soon. It's too soon. I got to play a guy a little older. Give me." So it took 35 years to get it off the ground, really, for him. And 23 days to shoot it is all.
Really, that's all?
Yeah, in Brownsville, Texas, which was great. We were supposed to shoot it in New Mexico, but they don't give us good rebate here in Texas. Please, somebody change that. But we did. We were allowed to on the budget. The budget was only $3.5–4 million, but we did do it in Brownsville,
Mm-hmm.
the most corrupt town in Texas, but it sufficed. It sufficed. The Rio Grande Valley is wonderful. I loved it there.
Mm-hmm.
The people is just terrific.
And you work with some talented young actors.
Yes, yes. Oh, yeah. Well, Jeremy, what's your name?
Irvine.
Irvine from England,
Mm-hmm.
and Ed Johnson, who was the casting guy, worked very hard, and he tracked down Angie Cepeda from Bogota to Madrid with her dog. She came back, and she's wonderful. She'd
Mm-hmm.
never been seen before in an American film.
Oh, she was
She's
new to
wonderful
me.
in the movie.
Mm-hmm. New to me and very good in that part.
Pardon?
She was new to me and very good in that part.
Yeah, she was wonderful. Yeah,
Yeah.
And hopefully this will help launch her in some kind of career here. You know,
Mhm.
you never know, but I hope,
Mhm.
hopefully,
Mhm.
very great to work, wonderful to work with.
Mm-hmm. When you're playing somebody who is, I mean, there are all these words, adjectives to describe a character like this fellow. Crusty, cantankerous, curmudgeonly.
That was one side.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But if you go too far, then he's dislikable. You don't want him to be unlikable, I guess is the better word. Is that written into the script, or is that your job to try to strike that balance?
Well, I think both. I think both. I think that the kind of a guy who loses everything is a pretty hermetic, old curmudgeonly guy, and he, the day he loses his little ranch on a foreclosure, he finds out he has a grandson, and he's like lost. So they just head to Mexico, old Mexico, for one night.
Yeah.
And they don't know, it's like they're just striking out. They don't know where they're going, or aimlessly. But he finds a new life, love, that sends him off into the sunset with a potential promise to be, even though, and he's found a new grandson that he knew he never had. He lost a grandson. I mean, he lost a wife, a son, and he just is, because of his lifestyle, he lived alone in a very hermetic way. But now he's got a new life at the end, and it's something Whitliff wrote. Whitliff actually made the adaptation of Lonesome Dove for television, and this is an original script that he's written. It's funny because years ago they tried to get somebody. Then Dennis Hopper was going to direct it. Then a French guy came along at this festival about 10 years ago. He was passionate about directing it. So I got my friends, Danny Davis from Houston. We went around, had brisket. He brought the wine, and he got in this guy, had a fancy car. And as he sat into the seat, Danny threw a pistol underneath him. He sat on the pistol like, Danny is a gangster, he said like that. It was, and he disappeared. And then the Spanish guy came along with the expertise, the money, and a wonderful crew, Emilio Aragon, and it was really now or never. As far as we never got it made. We finally got it made after many, many years. And we were supposed to do it in New Mexico, but we did it in Brownsville, which was great.
Now, you're in a position now at a point in your life where you pick and choose what you want to do.
I would like to pick and choose what I want to do.
Yeah.
The pickings will get a little bit scarce.
Right, I understand that. And as they are for any good filmmaker or somebody looking for good stories.
Yes.
What makes you say yes? What convinces you to say yes?
The character.
Yeah.
The character, then the total package, who's directing, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still the character. I had the good fortune of working this summer. We had, instead of 23 days, we had 60 days, work with Robert Downey Jr. And his wonderful wife. Just a great guy to work with. It was something that came around the corner, and sometimes the things that come around the corner surprise you and are better for you than the things you're planning. So we finished that, and
What film is that?
called The Judge. And a very smartly written script. If you asked me to explain it, I couldn't right now. I could explain The Night in Old Mexico, but and I guess Warner Brothers is very high on it, and but I had to be talked into it with my agent, because it was a very difficult part to play. But great working with the Downeys, the best. And one of my good friends in it was Billy Bob Thornton. Great, he was great.
And you just made a film with Billy Bob.
Yes.
Just a year
I
ago.
work with Billy Bob. It's great working with him. And same as on this movie, the higher the budget, the more they milk it. I mean, they drive you crazy with different angles. Billy Bob, I love his theory. Rehearsals for pussies, 2 takes, that's it. So we kind of did that in this film too. We had to shoot the rehearsal, And the lower the budget, you know, you have to compact things, which sometimes can be better.
Does that get the adrenaline flowing, you think?
Yes. I can remember doing a big film between takes. They'd wait 20 minutes, and it was like, at the end of the day, you forgot that you were there for a certain reason. You know,
Right. Oh, well, that's what people say about acting in big Hollywood movies, is that you're paid to wait around all day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, with a judge, we didn't wait around, but we had Janusz, the great cinematographer, but they did angle this. I mean, you can only use so much.
Yeah.
You have the time to do that. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. If it has to be done quickly, it gets done quickly.
Yeah, and sometimes it's better, really.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes, you know, that impetus.
Well, we're talking about mentioning TV and mentioning Lonesome Dove. I want to go back a little further than that, because really, like so many New York trained actors of your generation, the first real experience you got was in television.
Yes.
First live television, then filmed television. And if people just look at a list of your movie credits, you have a long list of movie credits, but you have an awful long list of TV credits too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, TV, well, you did the FBI, this one, that. And I thought, I don't want to do any more FBI. They always have me in khakis and a shirt. It's all the same. And you try to do so many of those to get into film.
Right.
And you do. But then when you get into film, at a certain point, there's certain things in television. You go back to television. When I played Stalin, when I played Lonesome Dove.
Oh, sure.
When I played Broken Trail with the 5 Chinese girls in the Western. And so television can be great.
Right.
It's all action and cut anyway. You know, the same thing.
Right. But in the early days, did you appreciate the experience you got starting with Naked City and The Defenders, those New York shows?
Definitely, yeah. We tried hard. Some times it was better than others. And I remember, like in Naked City, if you did a good emotional scene the second day, then you could kind of coast in a legitimate way the rest of the week. But it was harder because when you're young, it's harder to make things as offhand as you can do when you're a little older. Because I think the best part of filmmaking and seeing a performance that you respect is when somebody's offhand, even in the emotional scenes. So they don't punch it in an obvious way, you know. So you try to learn that through the years, really.